All right, there we go. You can see, finally, you can see the game in its glorious glory. The glorious of the glories. We're going to skip introductions just because I don't know if WoW can even get the introductions done. And we're just going to start by looking at what the heck is going on. And I know my UI is a little messed up is because, well, patch day. And I had adjusted it, but I didn't get to adjust it totally. So nothing too much here. 5-man grouping right now from Vicious and Delicious. God, I had to look at how to say that exactly. Vicious and Delicious. I hope they are delicious. But 5-man group there for a little bit, just to make sure they weren't getting invaded on. Now
it looks like VengeanceGG expected it because they just sat under their tower, and you know what? You should be expecting a grouping like that, especially when you have somebody like a Bakasura,
yep,
as well as a Bacchus, and also
well
a
Bastet.
Well, Bastet level 1's not that good. I mean, she can jump on you, and that's about it. But Bacchus can knock you up, which can set a lot for Bakasura, because Bakasura can just chop you down with those Butcher Blades. It's one of the scariest level 1 abilities in this game right now, but it looks like we aren't going to see any aggression. In fact, both teams just clearing their buffs, pretty standard. Taking a look at the builds. Wow, look at the Shibalanke build. He's opted to go for a Heartseeker level 1 first, and it looks like on her the same.
And so I've been hearing a lot of people that like to go Heartseeker and Dev Gloves. And Dev Gauntlet as well. So I don't know. I haven't tried it in this meta yet. I haven't played much on this new patch because of just time constraints. I haven't even gotten to play much this week. So there might be a little bit of stuff I might say tonight that'll be a little interesting. But in the left lane, we have a lot of aggression right onto Geba right now. Schwimmity, he has out of mana and half health right now. He has to pop a few pots to get going. But look at Hoonbots with that early gank coming in. Maybe he might be looking to poke Agni a little bit, but he's not going to be able to get anything. He's just going to come and get a little XP from the wave, and we have the spamming Agni already. Covey has the taunts on lock, literally, spamming out like 10 of them at a crack. That's not annoying or anything.
Well, for now I'm stuck in the right lane, but you know, not as much aggression as I'd expect to see from an Onher and a Bacchus. I mean, they're going up against a Geb and they're going up against a Shibalanke. Like, come on, those two gods are arguably the worst gods in lane, especially Shibalanke, because Shibalanke has no clear. I mean, Poison Darts, that does something, I suppose, but compared to an Onher who can literally just to the wave and almost clear it, well, they're getting aggressed on
right
hard. But looking at every other lane, it looks like everybody's being passive. I expect all hell to break loose once Humbats gets level 5, because if this Agni's out of position, then he is dead to rights, especially with the Janus dishing out these unstable vortexes. And taking a look at the mid, we see some aggression coming out from Humbats. Nothing too much, because nobody has level 5 yet.
Yeah, he's looking to invade those bat camps right now to maybe...
I like this.
Yep, good. He might, and he does hit 5 off of it. Now he has come online, looking to go maybe in left lane, go deep. They're not level 5 yet. Bacchus is only level 3, and Onher can't be CC immune with his ult because he doesn't have it yet. He might get it off this wave, though, so we have to wait to see if he wants to go for this aggression or not. I vote that he does go for it, especially looking at where they're at right now. He might come in hot right about now. Let's take a look. There it is. There's the ult, and look at Onher just get exploded. He is trying to get out, but Hard to Please does pick up the first kill of the game. And on a Shibalanke, of course, getting that passive stack going right up there, and this means free mid camps, at least on the left side, for Vicious and Delicious, or VengeanceGG, excuse me. But they get
VengeanceGG. I expect them to contest rights as well, but it looks like they're not going to.
Yeah, they weren't even.
I mean,
there.
Well,
they could have been.
They could have been.
Yeah, they could have been there.
Right,
but.
Oh, Benny needs to be careful here, because if he gets caught out with anything like this, look at that burst just coming out, and if he doesn't back right here, he's going to be weak. And so weak to the point where he can't even fight. I mean, he could drop cats, but that's about it, so he's going to make a back here. And this aggression coming out from VengeanceGG, I really like it, but I think that we need to see more of this, because Vicious and Delicious does have a better late game composition, mainly because Auxilia is playing the Sun Wukong, and we know that Sun Wukong late game is, how do you say it without offending anybody? it's garbage.
I mean, he's more of a nuisance late game. He's kind of unkillable unless you really focus him, but you can just kind of just ignore him. I mean, he's not going to do much, so he kind of late game. I mean, he really isn't going to be a problem, and he has a little bit of CC, and he's good at stealing objectives just because he can ult on them, but and then hog. But even then, he's really not that big of an issue. So he's going to go away, whereas Bakasura is going to rise up mid-game especially and kind of fall off a little bit late game, but not really that much. Mages can really burst him late game and destroy him before he can quite get to him, but they have to be very good with their abilities and make sure that they land them all. Take a look at Audacity right now. Another big ultimate coming out from Audacity right there. But I'm not sure why Spectre was down that lane so hard. I mean, he was kind of easy pickings there. He didn't even have to work for that one.
And this is going to snowball into more, because if you look at it, VengeanceGG is going to go for the camps. I'm not sure if Benny can do anything about this. This might be really dangerous for the Bastet player, because it's going to be a 2v1. So Wukong can easily lay down the burst. But you know what? Cats is going to come out. Benny going to take a lot of damage, but at least it's enough to force these two players off the camps. It looks like Agni is going to make a rotation. Auxilia is in some trouble. Auxilia is going to go down. Kobe is going to get the kill onto Sun Wukong. So that's 1-for-1 exchange on. More importantly, they saved their buff. Janus looks like he used the ultimate.
A little too late. I mean, that was
really accomplished too much.
It did nothing. It did zero. That was really unfortunate for him to do that. I'm not sure exactly what the thought was on that. He maybe should have done that a little bit earlier when he wasn't aware. You know, he had no idea where Agni was, and he definitely should have been ulting sooner, or as soon as they heard that first Agni bomb maybe coming over, if he wanted to make sure he was going to get there in time. But just a really late call on his part, and his Sun Wukong paid for it.
What I'm really worried about for Vishusndelishus is this on her. He's got 10 Heartseeker stacks, but Shibalanki's got 23, so not too much separating the difference. But the thing is, Shibalanki is up a level on him. That might not be much, but you know what? This lane can easily snowball, because as On Her approaches the mid game, he starts to fall off compared to a Shibalanki. I mean, Shibalanki is just going to bolas and poke out the On Her, whereas On Her doesn't really have that. He has to use his waypoint to poke it out. So Hyderable's going to have to make some magic happen in this lane if he wants to do something to this Shibalanki, and I think he has to, because VengeanceGG is already up a decent amount of experience in Go. If you take a look at the graphs, 1891 experience, actually 2000 experience is what separates these two teams, which is a decent amount of experience for VengeanceGG.
Ooh, in left lane we have a huge dunk there by Bacchus. Nice setup for the On Her Impale, but wasn't quite able to kill him. We saw On Her Impale him right into his pillar and get his full ult off. Just not able to pick him off, but he has to be very careful what he's doing here. Bacchus can come in and just ult, but nice Geb shield there. Wow, I cannot believe that saved him, and now he has to be in trouble because Audacity's coming around the corner, going to ult that Bacchus and might be able to take him down. It's going to take a little bit. The stun does come out from the burp, but he is not wanting to aggress anymore because Bastet's coming in hot. Probably has Cats up again, and we're going to see that maybe come out here in a second. Not going to quite do it. In the meantime, between the lines is going to take off bigger plan in the back line there. Bacchus getting really aggressive there. He almost had the kill, but not able to really finish anything off.
And it looks like Vishusndelishus wants to go in, but you know what? They've already done a decent amount of damage. It's 1-for-1, I believe, all across the board. They only lost to Bacchus for a Humbats, and I take that trade any day of the week.
Definitely, especially because Bacchus is not... I mean, that's what he's there for. He's there for losing.
Actually, no, Humbats didn't die. Humbats didn't die in that engagement. He actually lived, so that's actually really bad.
Especially when we're looking at the right lane right now. Auxilia going to get another aggression from Kobe in the right lane. That's 2 times that he's rotated with Giannis sitting in the mid lane, not really knowing where he is. So we either need to see some more wards on right lane, or maybe Giannis, his ult was down. Giannis' ult was down, so he wasn't able to just ult over, but he needed to at least somehow rotate to that. There is a ward on the Gold Fury right now, I think, for Vishusndelishus, and they are going to be able to see when VengeanceGG wants to go for that. But I don't know if they're going to be up the way they've been kind of playing. They've been a little sloppy lately, and I mean, Auxilia has been taken on twice, so Sun Wukong's not even going to be relevant for most of the game, and it's just going to get worse later in the game too. So not really even, you know, a big deal. Whereas Bakasura is going to really start to come online here soon.
Well, late game wise, I don't think it's that big of advantage or disadvantage for either team because, of course, someone falls off, but at the same time, on the flip side, you got Todable on her, who is not as good as some of the other AD carries, especially not as good against the Xbalanque. In fact, a lot worse than Xbalanque in the late game. So these two teams are pretty balanced, but I'm just worried for Auxilia in the late game. He's getting picked off, but it's not too bad. He opted for a Mystical Mail, which I find pretty interesting. Against a Bakasura, you'd expect a Runeforged Hammer instead of a Mystical Mail, but I guess...
Well, it helps you clear that wave a little bit, so I think that's part of the thought of for sure.
And speaking of Bakasura, speaking of Sun Wukong, he's gonna get aggressed onto here, but he's just too elusive. Perhaps Covey might say, hey, Auxilia's already far behind, so I might as well just gank the left lane because it looks like Todable really needs some help in this left lane. He's already down a level. Yeah, and also down some stacks. He opted to go for an Aussie, and so did Xbalanque. So these AD carry builds has really started to shift with the nerf to DevGauntlet, and that's really interesting to me.
Yeah, I mean, Aussie's a little bit cheaper, and you can get it faster than DevGauntlets. DevGauntlets are going to give you a little more power overall and a little more lifesteal anyway, but they cost more and they take longer to come online. So if you want that really quick lifesteal and a nice attack speed buff from Aussie, then go ahead and get that instead of the DevGauntlets. Then they're going to go into boots. It's weird seeing boots come online third item, or technically fourth item, including the starter item. It's really weird to start to see that because that used to be where you wanted that second item, and you used to get a nice little power spike from those boots, especially when you got power boots. But no one ever got power boots on ADCs, but. The attack speed boots, I mean, you can get a nice little power burst there, especially if your opponent in lane didn't have them. You could really feel the difference. Now we're starting to see a huge difference in between the Heartseeker meta with Aussie now, or DevGauntlet, some people have been saying as well, is, boots aren't coming on till way later.
I'm surprised that neither of these junglers are really making anything happen, especially VengeanceGG. They got a Janusol, and there's a reason they picked this god. And it's because they want to rotate and look for those advantages in these fights because they're going to be up a man or two. But it's not happening. Humbats is ahead of this Bastet. He's sitting 1-0-1. He's not doing that well for his team. He's doing well. Don't get me wrong, but he could be doing a lot better. So I want to see more aggression coming out from this Humbats.
I want to see more aggression from both junglers. I mean, Bastet's once she gets those cats, she needs to be ganking a ton.
But
and
she's been more.
Yeah, she's been more on the other end of just defensively catsing lately because she's been trying to help solo lane so much. And we've seen her in the right lane trying to help out a little bit, trying to get some farm. And it's hard against Bakasura. He's going to get poked out quite a bit, Auxilia is. But right now, Beniemba is looking to maybe invade a little bit right now. He's kind of sitting in the left jungle there looking to maybe poke someone, but not really sure what he wants to do. Kind of keeps walking back and forth. There's no buffs to get right now. Wants to gank left lane. We might see it happen, but really indecisive. I don't think he's going to be able to get it, especially when when missing the jump like that, not really missing all abilities. They're going to choose to go on Gevin. The cats come out here as well, and he is going to go down to Totable, which is good. On her really needs that spike in power there from that XP, but in the meantime, we're seeing Audacity have a really aggressive position right now, looking to go in. That ult, maybe a little bit of a sloppy ult there. They're going to turn right back on him. Bacchus ult coming out as well. There it is. Covey with a nice rock over the wall there to finish him off. That was great teamwork on their part. They're all there ready to go. All five are there ready to go and going Gold Fury. It's already under half. It's already done. Vishusndelishus destroys that Gold Fury in no time.
Where was the Janus ultimate in that fight? They were expecting it. They had a lot of time, and well, between the lines just refuses to move, and perhaps that might have costed his team something. He could have saved Geb there had he portaled somebody, but he just chose not to move.
Look how much damage he's doing. I mean, he just hit Agni with an Unstable Vortex and just got a huge chunk, almost a third of his health.
Well, it doesn't matter how much damage he's doing if he's not going to rotate.
That's what I mean. Like, he's doing it. He's just not there to do it, and that's a huge problem.
Bigger Pilot might get caught out here, but they choose not to go on to him. Well, the problem with Janus is that he can't really flat out burst somebody like Poseidon. He does a lot of damage with the Unstable Vortex, but that's
one of the
burst. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
In the meantime, we're taking a look at Totable. He's having a little bit of an issue right now, turning to fight because he knows he's not going to get away, hoping to maybe lifesteal off of Hard to Please enough, but Hard to Please is going to get yet another kill onto him. That's 2-0.
Oh, look at the right lane. Bakasura is in some trouble right now. Bakasura is going to get aggressed onto and is going to take the fall. That's the Auxilia cleaning that poor Bakasura up.
That poor demon monster thing with the mouth thing.
Oh, yeah.
Poor thing, whatever the hell it is.
The thing that likes to eat things. And look at between the lines, just Agni just poking him out at this point.
I love it.
Janice?
That's how you need to play Agni.
That's how you play Agni.
Like, just keep... You're not... He's very bursty for sure, but he's like a long-term burst. You know what I mean? Like, he's a...
Right.
He's a poke, 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 poke. And then you're like, they're under half. Okay, poke. And then they're dead. And you have to really just manage your abilities well with him. That's what I like about him, because he's a very high-skill mage. And he's somewhat safe too. He's got that dash is a very, very nice. It is fast. I mean, he's not CC immune in it, but the only person on this team who can really knock him out of that are Hunbots with his ultimate, and Geb with his shockwave. Could knock him out of that, but that's really not going to happen that often, so that's not a big deal. It's awesome. I love to start seeing more Agnis. And right now, if you take a look at his build, I'd like to look at that real quick. He's going for Shoes of the Magi, so wanting a little bit extra power rather than cooldown reduction, and Warlock Sash. What do you say to that, a Warlock Sash on an Agni?
Well, considering how this game is going, I like that item. But the thing is, if you go to Book of Thought first, you can be a lot more aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, Bastad's not that good in a flat out 1v1 against a Humbats, because you just push the cats away with the Fear No Evil. So the problem with Agni being aggressive this game is that he doesn't have a setup. He doesn't have like a Humbats on his team. He has a Bastad, and that's the problem with the Bastad. You can't really set up for somebody like an Agni. But look at this. Agni and Baka is making a huge rotation onto the right lane. I'm not sure about this because Auxilia is a really difficult character to kill. You don't want to be ganking that lane, especially when the Gold Fury is up.
Right, definitely not. I mean, but yeah, Gold Fury is going to be up in a little bit here. We still got about a minute and a half on that at least. But the big group up in the middle right now, we have 3 people, 3v4 right now. Both ADCs, or excuse me, just one ADC Totable is here. Shibalanke is not here quite yet. He backed to base a little bit ago. They're just waiting for these mid camps. This is the mid camp war right now, and it looks like Vishusndelishus is going to pick up the rights. Lefts haven't quite come up yet, so we're waiting for those. But I assume that Geb has Hog up right now, but that's a risky call to waste it on that, especially when Gold Fury is going to come back up here pretty soon. But he doesn't. Yeah, he does have Hog 3, so I would not use it. It's not worth getting those 2 mid camps when you could potentially lose Gold Fury for it. Auxilia going to go down against Spectre. That's going to start to happen quite a bit now. We're going to see a quick pause here, so we're just going to go to a screen here just to give you a second. But so right now, looking at this, let's just analyze this right now. If you're Vishusndelishus, you're starting to come back a little bit. You are coming back. You're ahead in gold by about 1,000, exactly 1,000, pretty much. Let me see the graph here. You're ahead in gold by 1,000. You're up in gold by 1,500. What's your game plan right now? Especially when you know your Anher's not the late game. He's not a better late game. Your solo is a better late game than their solo. Bastet, their jungle. VengeanceGG has a better jungle late game. Schwimmity's Geb is probably a little bit better than Bacchus late game because that shield's going to be hitting, a big shield. Agni probably, I don't know, Giannis they're kind of even. It really depends on the player for that. I think Giannis and Agni are similar.
I'd have to say that Agni is actually better in the
so?
late game. I think so, because if he can flat out burst somebody, Janus can't really do that, but
Sure.
Agni can. If you take somebody out of the fight
Sure,
ASAP,
yeah, I can get behind that, yeah.
Right.
That makes
but
sense.
what Vishusndelishus needs to make happen is this Bacchus needs to start jumping in. He's playing too passively for what he's made of. This is the fat man. He's the tanky and high damaging person. He's just going to body slam you, and we haven't really seen any of those effective body slams this game. We've seen one earlier in the left lane, but that didn't really do too much because it was just a Geb bone down. He needs to start jumping onto this Janus and also start jumping onto anybody else on the team besides Geb and Auxilia. Because if he intoxicates somebody, at least it forces out beads, right? And right now, we don't see any upgraded beads. So 90-second cooldown for 120-second or 180-second cooldown in the case of, Actually, no. What am I saying? They have upgraded beads, but it's okay if you force it out because
Forcing beads is a great thing.
yeah,
No matter what,
it
that's a
is.
win.
It's,
You know,
it's
especially
huge.
like no matter what, that's a win. Just don't die for it, obviously. But
Right. Well, we don't see a lot of that aggression. Agni is setting a lot of things up. He's poking people down, but you know what? Like you said, if you can poke people, but you can't get the kill, then it's kind of pointless, right?
yeah,
Wasting
for sure.
mana for nothing.
Yeah, and you waste an ult or something like that. You know, you just got it's all about knowing whether you can finish off the kill or not, and that's huge. The best way to bait beads is to go at them and not actually use your abilities. You know what I mean? Like or use like half your setup so they think you're gonna do it and then don't finish it off. Just to bait that beads, but good players can see that coming, you know, or wait till they need to use beads, till they need to use it. It's wild to see some of that happen. You can't always, avoid something like that, and it's really interesting to see what we're gonna go with. Who do you think? I mean, I have to go with VengeanceGG for late game overall, just because of Xbalanque, Hun Bots, and Geb, and I mean Giannis. I really still with their comp. I think he's just fine. If Geb late game really helps Giannis, he's going to be just fine. It looks like we are going to get unpaused here, so we will be getting back into the game here now, and let's take a look where we're at. Whew. So left tower is getting poked down a little bit on her. Totable is taking it down pretty fast here, but we see Audacity here to help defend it. The Blink ultimate comes out from Schwimity, maybe looking to take down Totable as well, but he is getting away. Nice pillar there. And look at this convergence as a retaliation for getting that poke. There's a huge convergence there by the Bastet and Bacchus, but they're not going to quite do it. They just wanted to make sure that he was okay and not going to die. In the meantime, Giannis ults over to make sure he can come over there because he sees Kobe coming over as well. Xbalanque ultimate comes out, but just kind of soft aggression here. We see a little bit of everyone's kind of using their ults, but no one's really fully committing to anything.
Well, we might see a commitment here because whoever gets a good team fight or a commanding team fight victory gets the Gold Fury. Look at the right lane though. In the meantime, expect to push down that tier 2 tower. In fact, 2 towers going down from VengeanceGG, but Auxilia is not going to be able to do anything about that. It looks like there's not going to be any aggression in the left lane. This is really strange from Vishusndelishus because they just forced out a Gebel. I guess they're afraid of the Fear No Evil, but you know what? The Gold Fury is going to get started by VengeanceGG.
Yeah, they want to bait this. They want this fight, and they need to have this fight. They have to win this Gold Fury and 2 to 3 kills to really take a nice lead, and that can put them over that edge of where they can be really aggressive next time around. If they don't get this, then they're in a lot of trouble.
And you know what? Both teams just backing off.
Just not wanting it.
This is really weird because VengeanceGG is starting to fall behind, especially after Bakasura got that tier 2 tower. In fact, he's pretty far ahead of the Sun Wukong. But this is getting really scary for VengeanceGG because if Vishusndelishus starts to make this comeback, in fact, they're already ahead.
Yeah, they're way ahead. Well, not way ahead, but they're decent. Well,
gold.
Gold, they're pretty ahead. XP, they're similar, but that can make the difference. That gold can be an item, or half an item, or whatever, and that can be the difference in one fight, depending on what gods you are. And in terms of Agni and stuff like that, one item passive can really make the difference. Right now, yeah, and right now, I really wish Vengeance would have gone for that because they could have easily won that fight. That was either team's fight for sure. And we're not seeing that happen from them right now. Xbalanque is going to get aggressed on in the left lane right now, but Honor is ulting blind. He ulted blind because of Xbalanque ult. He is getting aggressed on now because of it. Goes through the portal. He's going to die on the way down between the lines. Going to get that kill. In the meantime, Bigger Plan is going to get ulted by Audacity and going down. Now VengeanceGG will commit to this Gold Fury most likely, but they still have to be very careful because Kovi and Benny Imba are still there. I know Bastet still has cats up right now. And we're seeing Spectre there as well. They want to fight, though. They're going for this, and they're going to go down. But Spectre is going to go take down Hard to Please, while Audacity takes down Covey. And Spectre also gets Audacity on the backside, too. We might see Geb go down as well. Schwimity just running for his life, but he's going to get chunked down as well. Spectre with a triple kill, just taking it to the house. Is going to get taken down by Between the Lines, though. Spectre going down. That was a 3 for 4 in favor of VengeanceGG. Not quite as worth as they needed. They really needed to not lose 1 or 2 more people there to make that really a real beneficial fight for them. Because if we take a look at the graphs, I mean, they're still down gold. At least they got up XP because of it. Now they're going to farm up a few waves and get that XP lead going on. So they're not out of this game by any means.
Oh, Between the Lines might get aggressed onto here, but he's Janus and he's really hard to get. It's really hard to kill this god if he just portals away. So I guess that's why we don't see Vishusndelishus forcing anything. Bastet can't really provide a setup, so that's why I don't think that she's that great of a pick, at least not compared to somebody like a Humbats. But you know what, this Bacchus can still make something happen, but right now he's not jumping in aggressively. Let's look at his items. He's got a Sovereignty and he's going towards, or working towards, a Heart Ward Amulet. So he's really tanky right now. I'm really surprised he's not going in and setting things up for his team, because with those Agni Bombs and also with the On Her ultimate, as well as everything else, as well as like Spectre's Regurgitate, that can hurt a lot for VengeanceGG, especially if they're clustered together. And they don't want to waste the beads on the Bacchus ultimate, because then you're not using it on a stun. Or
then all Audacity is going to walk in. Well, excuse me, you're talking the other way, but you can't just waste the beads on the Bacchus ultimate. You have to deal with that. Like, that is one of those ultimates that it is not worth it for beads. You have to just accept it. Try and you can if you're good enough, you can A and D totally opposite at the right times. It's hard to get used to, but you can do it.
Well, it also slows you down a bit, right?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, it's not just making you move. Making you walk sideways does slow you down. You get that debuff for movement. Nice chunk there. Ooh, nice spear by Totable. Forces the beads out from Hard to Please the Shibulanke. That's a win, especially for just a spear. A spear right into his pillar. That's way worth beads, because that's probably almost back up already, and he's going to be looking to be aggressive right now. Doesn't have full Heartseeker stacks anymore. He's really trying to get those back online, but neither does Hard to Please as well. He's still sitting close, but they're going to get it from this wave most likely. But both teams are really hungry right now. They really want this aggression. They're just a little too scared. It feels like, we really need to see bigger pylon go in, like really just commit, because Bacchus is great at that, right? He's jumping in, yes. He's knocking people up, he's got the stun right after. That's a great setup, and he can dump the damage really fast, and then still just kind of be in the way. He can just run around in circles and be in the way and be a nuisance in a lot of these fights. The only problem is if Geb's there, he's going to be really a nuisance right back by shielding people that need to get out of that knockup, and by his shockwave going to knock up the whole enemy team at the same time. So I think it's a really good matchup, Geb against a Bacchus.
Oh, we might see some aggression here towards the Goldfish. Shimmy looks like he's going to get cut out, but you know what? Everyone's just so scared. At least that forced out the Janus, but Totable is going to take a massive amount of damage, but fortunately he is on her and he can't heal up with Lifesteal, so...
He's going to back, though.
Oh, I don't know about that, because seeing this back, VengeanceGG can easily start the Gold Fury and force it out, especially when Spectre is just chasing this monkey.
Yeah, they really need to go for it right now, force it, but he's almost back to lane. He's going to be back before they even think about forcing it,
unfortunately. They need to attack it, and that's what they're doing right now, but maybe a bit too late. I mean, Onher's already here. Totable just being really quick. They're burning it down really quickly, and well, if they force this out a bit before, then Mullins is good. But look at Spectre.
Like
Spectre's taking the right Phoenix.
Schwimity might have DC'd down there. Unfortunately, Schwimity looks like he DC'd, and he's down at the bottom there. He just got killed by Totable. But yeah.
Look at Spectre. He took a Phoenix off of that.
Spectre doesn't care.
What was that?
I mean, I'm not sure how he was able to do that. With Sun Wukong there, Auxilia is right there.
Oh, there's going to be a team fight happening in the Gold Fury here. Hard to Please is going to get a kill onto Benny. Double Agni Stun coming out. Bach is jumping into Intoxicate, but nobody's going to die from that. Just follow-up isn't there yet. Totable is going to get the kill onto Between the Lines. Double kill for him so far in this fight, and they're going to start up the Gold Fury right now.
Yeah, this
Well,
is theirs. For sure.
unfortunately for Geb, he DC'd, and if Geb was alive, perhaps that would have gone differently because he could have been shielding people, and he
Yeah,
could have been
that
using his ultimate there.
that would have gone differently for sure. Unfortunately, they are going to have another pause, so rip servers. So we're going to wait for Audacity, or excuse me, Swimity, to come back into this game before we unpause, most likely. Yeah, that was very very bad DC for him. Like he had no choice but to die because he wasn't there. Obviously, I don't know what I was going for there, so I followed my sentence out the best I could.
Well, I mean, if he was there,
That fight would have been. It probably wouldn't have been a fight.
But here's the problem, though. He used his ultimate somewhere in the fight. We didn't see an impact in it, and he can only shield one person. That knockout might do some work, I suppose, because VengeanceGG did get out of there alive for the most part, except, you know, between lines, he got the short end of the stick. But Get perhaps might have been able to save Janus there, and that's it. Everybody had to back, so Vishusndelishus is still going to get this Gold Fury practically for free at this point, and they're going to take a massive lead from VengeanceGG after this.
Oh, man. So let's take a look at the charts here real quick. Gold is in favor of Vishusndelishus, but XP is in favor of VengeanceGG. But not by much. After this Gold Fury, that gold difference is going to be very big, and the XP difference is going to be very, very close to nothing. So that's going to be interesting to see what comes out of this. I mean, I'm not sure who has this fight. Really, this game could definitely go either way yet. VengeanceGG really just needs to win some of these fights and be a little more aggressive, I think. Maybe find... There's a few picks they could have gotten here and there, and maybe they could have done that a little better. But we are going to get back to the game here, looks like. And Vishusndelishus is going to take down that Gold Fury very easily, as we all expected, because they were there at the last... when we paused.
Well, I think this fight is going to go to Vishusndelishus because... mainly because of this Agni versus Janus. Janus doesn't do anything in team fights at this point in time. He can throw out unstable vortexes and I guess portals and slow people down. But the thing is, Agni, he can pretty much stun their whole team, potentially. And burst their whole team as well. I mean, a 5-man stun is probably never going to happen. But if you take out one player off the fight instantly, and that's what Agni can do, Janus can't really do that yet. But Agni can do that right now. And if that happens, then the fight is pretty much over. So, I'd have to say that Agni is a better pick over Janus. The problem with Janus is that he just doesn't do anything in the early game, and you need to abuse the rotations. The thing is, VengeanceGG did not do that. This Humbats did not rotate at all. He rotated once to the right lane, the solo lane. That's the least important lane in the game, in the early game. So, his rotations have not been impactful. But I guess, on the flip side, Bastet hasn't really rotated yet. Either he's 0, 1, and 7, not even a kill to his name. He's been part of these team fights, so just opting to farm up, and that has to favor Humbats, because Humbats is the better late game character. So, these fights, I guess Fear No Evil can turn a fight around pretty heavily, in fact. Can direct pretty much PO for the cats. But those cats aren't going to be doing too much in the late game. They're going to die instantly, pretty much. So, I don't know. It's going to be pretty even. It's all going to depend on initiation, I think.
Yeah, it's really going to be who's going to get picked off first and who really gets bursted first. They're going to need... VengeanceGG is going to need Spectre to go down really fast. Spectre and Kobe are the targets, for sure, for VengeanceGG. But it's going to take a lot to get to them. That's going to be the big problem. It's going to take a lot of power and a lot of focus just to kill both of them. And the problem is Spectre's going to be right up in their face, while Kovi's going to be right in the back lane just dumping damage. So they're going to have to pick one or the other, and they might all die in between getting even one of them. So I don't. It's not going to be worth it, especially because bigger Pyling can just go in and really wreck shop if he's smart enough about it.
Oh, Hard to Please might die here. Tunnable is going to get the kill onto Hard to Please. Killing spree was on her, but between the lines, and Geb is going to come in Extremity using that ultimate, forcing Tunnable to leave. But you know what? This is really bad for Between the Lines. Luckily, he has a Geb on his team that's shielding on point, so Extremity playing that really well. But unfortunately for Hard to Please, he got the short end of the stick there and fell, and that is really bad, because he has to restack those Heartseeker stacks. And look at Spectre, he doesn't care. He's just going into the mid lane and taking that tier 1 tower. So Vishusndelishus just killing VengeanceGG, death by 1,000 cuts. they're taking it one step at a time, one slow step at a time, and the second step they're gonna take after the Humbats or after the Spectre is gonna be pushing down this left tier 2 tower, but well, they're just sieging it right now. Don't expect too much aggression because at this point diving a tower can cost you the game, and that's a very throwy move. But you know what? Look at Spectre, the split push machine, getting the tier 2, or rather getting the right lane.
That tier 2 Phoenix. That's called the Titan.
The Titan.
Ooh,
I kept thinking there was a tier 2 tower there because usually you don't expect the Phoenix to fall.
Right.
At this phase of the game, but you know what?
Especially when there's somebody in that lane like that. Usually you can't just
Yeah.
take it, but Sun Wukong can't do a whole lot against that. I assume that Spectre, since his ult is down, he's just barfing under the Phoenix and then going for it, which is, you know, how you take objectives with him, and that's, you know, what is Auxilia going to do against that? He can't hardly even kill those minions that fast, and Boxer is going to shred right through that. I mean, look at that build. He's going to shred right through that Phoenix in no time, so that's going to be really, really rough for him. I like where Totable's at right now. He hasn't lost his left tower. He hasn't lost his tier 1 tower. He's taken, excuse me, sorry, Hard to Please his tier 1 tower and half of his tier 2 tower. And he's on her. And he's been against the Geb, and, you know, I mean, it's been an uphill battle for him,
Hard
but
to Please.
he is on point with those stuns, though. He needs to be on point with this jump, though. He has to be very, very careful.
Oh, you know what? Shrimity needs to be really, really careful here because he is going to get collapsed on. He is going to get focused. If they focus him down here, this might be a fire giant. Audacity gets a kill on Tauntable, so that's going to clear things up a bit for VengeanceGG. But if Tauntable did not fall there, that was a free fire giant because they wouldn't be able to contest that well.
It took
So,
3
look at this
people to take
Spectre.
him down.
Yeah, well, Spectre's already starting the fire giant. Look at this.
Which he can do easily because he's almost full. He is full build pretty much.
They need to kill Auxilia though. Auxilia has Hog 3, and that's
And his ult is up.
Look at Spectre.
He's just gonna ult in the air.
He's just gonna go in,
There, here comes the ult.
Humbats.
Here's the Auxilia
Humbats
ult.
is gonna take a spill,
But it's
and
way too early.
Oh man.
Ooh.
Well, Spectre took a fall, but you know what? He got a kill onto Audacity, so that's a massive team fight ultimate down right off the bat. In fact, Audacity had to use it defensively, it looks like. But this fight is still going. Auxilia is going to go deep into Bigger Pylon. And, well, Bigger Pylon's not going to die. He is a really tanky target. But you know what? Who is going to die? It looks like Hard to Please might die. But you know what? Hard to Please gets a kill to Kobe. And Benny is in a lot of trouble. Auxilia bursts him down with the help of Janice. And, wow, that turned. I think the problem there was Spectre went in way too deep. He got the kill to Audacity, but the thing is, he needed to make more of an impact for his team in that fight. He is the high impact god at this stage in time for Vishusndelishus, and he just got 1 kill. He needs to get more than that.
That was a wild engagement there. I cannot believe that we didn't see that fire giant go down. It was about under half. And we saw Auxilia go into the air ready to steal, but just wasn't able to do it. In the meantime, VengeanceGG is retaliating with their own attempt to go for it, but they're not really committing to it for some reason. They're kind of going in and out, but they have to make sure that they're careful because Bigger Pylon can come in here and jump and just knock them all up. But there's the jump, and the ult comes out. VengeanceGG does take the fire giant. Now we just have to see if Bacchus goes down, and he probably will here. There he goes between the lines. He's going to take that kill. Now they are rushing it down. VengeanceGG is going to look to make sure they take out the rest of these towers that are available, and at least 1 to 2 Phoenixes, most likely. They really need to focus the towers, though.
Yeah, they do. And while they're backing up right now, they are backing up right now, and I don't know about that. I guess
They might be
Vishusndelishus
just
is
clearing.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Vishusndelishus is down a player, and that's a pretty important one. Bacchus can destroy these team fights with his Intoxicate and also his Belly Flop, so I'm surprised that VengeanceGG isn't really forcing anything right off the bat, but I guess they want to play it safe. They're grouping in the right lane, the 80 carry lane, looking to push down this tier 2 tower, but you know what? Bacchus is going to respond to it, and if they don't make a play soon, then, well, they're effectively wasting Fire Giant buff time. So they need to do something, and they know that, so that's why they're grouping up here, trying to force something. I expect a dive. I expect a Blink ultimate from Geb to come out whenever that gets off cooldown, or Audacity to just jump in there, Fear No Evil. Pretty much everybody on Vishusndelishus, but that's not happening yet.
Yeah, VengeanceGG needs to go right now. Like they are all up. They could burn this. They could fight this and burn this down, and they're really not really wanting to commit for it. I'm not sure why. Geb just needs to take this tower. There it is. He's waiting for the ult. Blink ult.
Oh, Kobe is gonna get focused here. Nope, Spectre is gonna be the first player to die, and he cannot die in that situation. He is a high impact god for Team Vishusndelishus, and this is looking really bad for the boys on blue. Well, Audacity might look to take a fall here, but Audacity jumps out. Kobe is taking a lot of damage. Auxilia using his ultimate right there. Benny is in a lot of trouble. Benny gonna take a fall from the Shibalonke. Auxilia is still going in deep, but he is, nope, I lied. That is just his replica, and well, Totable is gonna get chased down by this wild monkey, but that's not gonna happen too much. Gab is in the front, in the tier, like after the tier 2 tower, the Phoenix. Yes, that's what it is. Just diving him, but you know what? VengeanceGG got a Phoenix off of that, and they're looking to aggress onto the mid lane. So, well, 2 players down, in fact, for Vishusndelishus with 2 very high impact players, Spectre and Benny. They cannot die like that. Spectre just went in too deep, and well, he got punished for his sins. Look at this, Gold Fury is gonna come out, and well, it's not going to be out for long as VengeanceGG just completely hammers onto it. I'm surprised this thing isn't falling quick enough, but you know what? You can't expect too much, right?
Well, they didn't have hard to please there yet, and as soon as he came out, bing, 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 and it was gone. I really wish we had seen VengeanceGG get more towers out of that fight. The fact that it took him that long to commit to that right tower really hurt them, but I know why they were waiting. They were waiting for that Geb ult to come back up. That blink Geb ult was very nice, and that was a great initiation of that fight, and that definitely, I mean, look how many beads came out because of that. Like, the whole team just turned bright yellow because they were like, oh, and they all just ran, and they couldn't do much against that, and that Geb late game is really awesome because of something like that. You know, that I love getting blink on someone like Geb. The potential to steal objectives, the potential to, you know, dive under tower like that without them even being ready for it. Very good job. I just wish we'd see some of these other towers go down here quickly, but looks like they are doing just that, and they're grouping up, getting ready to go push down this left lane, while the right lane has to be pushed up by
Look at Bastet. Look at where Benny is right now.
They're going for it.
This Phoenix is dead.
This is what you need to do for Bastet late game. This is exactly what you should be doing. Look at how fast that went, and look who backed. We see Schwimity back. That's not who they needed to back right there, unfortunately.
Audible is going to die. This is going to be engagement coming out in the right Phoenix, or in the left Phoenix, rather. Benny, Spectre is in front. He's going to take a fall again. He gets crit by Heart to Please, and that is so bad for Team Vishusndelishus, and they are still going in. I expect them to go in a lot deeper than this. Heart to Please might be a bit careful, or want to be a bit careful. Heart to Please does get a kill onto Bigger. In the meantime, Bastet took a fall. Looks like Between Lines got that kill, and this Phoenix is dead. You're right, Auxilia just being in the front line, tanking it up, and that is why you want a Sun Wukong on your team. But you know what? You have to be ahead to make this monkey work, and he can just tank towers and phoenixes like it's nothing. But well, Auxilia is doing his job in the late game. Perhaps his god not allowing him to do more. But you know what? Vishusndelishus is on their back heel here. They need to make something happen. Kobe needs to make something happen. But you know what? The time goes down before anything can happen. Well, VengeanceGG, after taking a Fire Giant, taking a commanding lead, and ending the game off of that after taking 3 Phoenixes, well played by their part.
Yeah, we were really waiting for that to come online, something to happen. Once they had that nice Fire Giant fight and came back with that retaliation to go get it after they, you know, turned off Vishusndelishus from it, they came back, got it, and that just, it was so late in the game that that's all they really needed to push them down to the finish line.